Hello, everyone. I welcome you once again to our series on Indigenous Hands, the Indigenous Voices, brought to you by Save the Deaf and Endangered Languages Initiative. We are still on the COVID-19 pandemic era, and I encourage you to keep social distancing wherever you are to keep our communities safe. We are going to go through this and survive, and God is going to help us. Right, today we are going to continue our discussion on the Adamorobe Deaf community with our sister Mary Edward, and today's topic is deaf education in Adamorobe village. Deaf education in Adamorobe village. I can't wait to hear what Mary Edward has to tell us in today's topic. And therefore, I give the stage to Mary Edward, please.
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Indigenous Hands, Indigenous Voices, and my name is Mary Edward. And for the past few weeks, we've been talking about Adamorobe Sign Language and the people of Adamorobe. Today, we just want to continue the discussion or the talk on Adamorobe Sign Language, but we just want to zoom down on deaf education in Adamorobe. Okay, so in today's session, it is my hope to consider some educational issues in Adamorobe, focusing specifically on deaf education, the influence of Ghanaian Sign Language on the grammar of Adamorobe Sign Language, and also how people are gradually shifting from Ghanaian Adamorobe Sign Language to Ghanaian Sign Language. But I will not spend much time on the grammar of Adamorobe Sign Language. I might just mention something briefly about it, because later on in this series we'll be looking at the grammars of indigenous African Sign Language. But before we go on, I just want you to know that the problems faced by deaf education in the African continent is increasingly disheartening. Many deaf individuals have little or no education, especially those in rural communities like Adamorobe. Now let's turn our attention to Adamorobe community. As we stated in the previous videos, Adamorobe is located in the eastern region of Ghana, and the community prides itself with having its own unique indigenous sign language, also known as the Adamorobe Sign Language. The Adamorobe Sign Language is used by both the deaf people in the community and the hearing signers in the community. So the hearing signers are mostly the family and friends of the deaf people. And as we saw in the last videos, in the past it was believed that many people in Adamorobe, both deaf and hearing, could sign. But now it's no more the case. There are lots more sociological issues that has caused the decline of hearing signers of Adamorobe Sign Language. So let's go on. Also, in the previous video, I tried to make a distinction between Ghanaian Sign Language and Adamorobe Sign Language, and I informed our noble viewers that the Ghanaian Sign Language is the sign language used for formal education in Ghana, and it is not the same as Adamorobe Sign Language. They have different things that split them into two. They are not even dialects of the same language. They are different languages on their own. And historically, Ghanaian Sign Language is believed to have emerged in the 1957, introduced as part of the effort to educate deaf people in Ghana by Andrew Foster. And according to Kiyaga and Moss, it's Andrew Foster introduced what they call total communication, which was a blend of indigenous signs and ASL. So there are other researchers that claim that Ghanaian Sign Language and other sign languages used for formal education across sub-Saharan Africa have been influenced by American Sign Language, or there are some variants of American Sign Language, but we will not go into that issue. So as we return to Adamorobe we know is a multilingual society. Different languages are spoken and signed there, including Adamorobe Sign Language, Ghanaian Sign Language, English, Ga, Ewe, and Akan. So deaf people in Adamorobe have Adamorobe Sign Language as their first language. That is the language they are introduced to when they are born. Why? Because they don't need to go to school to learn Adamorobe Sign Language. It is learned within the community because there are a number of deaf people, probably hearing signers. On the other hand, to acquire Ghanaian Sign Language, deaf people have to be sent to school. Furthermore, not all deaf people in Adamorobe were born into deaf families. So there are few other deaf people who were born into hearing families, and they also learned the sign language from the communities as their first language even before being introduced to English or Ghanaian Sign Language. So in the past, deaf education was not prioritized in Adamorobe, so most of the adult signers have not received formal education. Some of them remember the exploits of Andrew Foster. Some of them even look back and say, oh, they met him in person. They even have a sign name for him, but they were not encouraged to go to school. They even told us that there was an effort to build a school for the deaf in Adamorobe, but it didn't work out. So most deaf adults in Adamorobe are not educated, and their L1 is Adamorobe Sign Language. They lip read Akan, and some of them minimally understand Ghanaian Sign Language, which they acquire through various means. On the other hand, the current generation, like the youngsters in Adamorobe now, are equal bilinguals in Ghanaian Sign Language and Adamorobe Sign Language. How is this possible? This is possible because Ghanaian Sign Language is the language for deaf education in Ghana. So when these youngsters go to school, they are introduced to Ghanaian Sign Language and are encouraged to sign in Ghanaian Sign Language, which means on the school campuses, no Adamorobe Sign Language is used. Probably if they meet each other on campus, they might be able to sign among themselves, but no indigenous sign language is encouraged as a language of education in Ghana. The teachers are trained in Ghanaian Sign Language. The students come to school, even those without any sign language experience are introduced to Ghanaian Sign Language. Whether you had a home sign, a village sign, the focus is to train you in Ghanaian Sign Language. So the deaf children from Adamorobe leave the community, travel to the deaf schools, the deaf institutions, and come back with another sign language, which is the Ghanaian Sign Language. We are not against the education of the younger deaf Adamorobians, and we are not against the education of the deaf children using Ghanaian Sign Language. After all, in most sub-Saharan African countries, it's either you are taught in your native language at the lower educational level and introduced to English or French or Portuguese in the higher levels, or you are taught from English from the very foundation. But what we realize is that even in Ghana, where the language policy concerning the use of English or native languages is variable, people still learn their native languages in school, either as a subject or learn it as the language of instruction from primary 1 to primary 3, depending on the community you grew up. But for users of indigenous sign languages in Ghana, they are not able to have any educational materials in their indigenous sign languages because we do not have materials developed to teach deaf people in their own indigenous sign languages. First, we don't have teachers who know the indigenous sign languages to use it as a mode of instruction, and the deaf schools are usually a variable location where deaf people from different communities are gathered together. Therefore, after school, deaf children have become equal bilinguals and now tend to migrate from Adamorobe Sign Language to Ghanaian Sign Language. The migration is very subtle. You do not see it because they still communicate with the adult signers in Adamorobe Sign Language. But among each other in the community, the deaf youngsters will choose to communicate in Ghanaian Sign Language. There are different reasons behind why they choose to communicate in Ghanaian Sign Language. One of these is to hide information that they don't want other people to know. And two is the prestige attached to Ghanaian Sign Language. It's like speaking English in Ghana. You want to speak like the Queen's grammar, and people will accept you. People will know that, oh,
Okay, that was it in today's topic, and we want to appreciate Mary Edward for educating us again on what is going on in Adamorobe Deaf Village. And if you grasped anything from what she said, I want to go through some of the few things that I noted, which I feel are some salient points worthy of note. One of the things that she pointed out today is that sign language used by both and hearing people in Adamorobe, that village, in the past, it used to be a very high level of what I could call corporate fluency, or integrated fluency, whereby both deaf and hearing have relatively equal amount of fluency. But she said currently it is not necessarily so, because of the shift which we discussed last week, the linguistic shift whereby both deaf and hearing are shifting towards English spoken language, and also shifting towards Ghanaian Sign Language. So that depreciates the signing fluency amongst hearing people mostly, and also some deaf people. She also said that ADSL, even to today, is currently acquired in the community, and this is one of the points that really captured my interest. It is fascinating to know that ADSL is the L1 of some deaf children up to today, and this is a kind of scenario we are talking about in Nigeria. I know it is happening in some of the rural areas like Mogajingari. Even though when we documented that deaf community, we didn't see any child to document, or any younger person. But I mean, the idea that younger people still acquire ADSL as L1 is a beautiful thing that is happening in the community, irrespective of the shift that is happening. And she pointed out is even amongst hearing people, but it's still happening. But contrary to that, when deaf children go to school, they acquire GSL, which is also a very beautiful thing. Bilingualism is better than monolingualism. So, and by every research and study, there is an indication that children that are bilingual do better academically and otherwise than those that are monolingual. And if we go by that idea, or by that theory, we will say that acquiring a DSL in the community and coming to learn GSL in the school is a beautiful thing happening both to the deaf students and the community. One other thing, which is the last thing I'm going to point out, she talked about is the fact that ADSL is not encouraged at all in the schools, not used, no literacy material on that. This is one thing that is happening to a lot of indigenous sign languages. This is not good, and this is one of the things we are fighting against. We are working to stop, to ensure that there are going to be literacy materials for the indigenous sign languages, even if at the end of the day the government does not adopt this sign language to be taught in schools. But for the fact that the sign language is still being acquired in the communities, there is supposed to be literacy material available that families can use. I often say it that we should remember that literacy does not begin in school, it begins before school. In fact, what happens in school is more of education, while literacy happens from home. And so we in this channel and in this series, one of the reasons we are discussing these indigenous sign languages is to help both governments and people who are in the corridors of power to understand the need for policy change towards the indigenous sign languages of African continent. If we do not do this, our indigenous sign languages will continue to die. I know someone can argue that how about the spoken languages? Africa is the most multilingual continent on the whole planet. And I know that some people look at the multilingualism for Africa as a challenge or as a problem. But if you also look at it from the very positive perspective, you find out it's a very beautiful thing. And that does not say that African countries and communities cannot have their indigenous languages, whether spoken or signed, standardized. So in the indigenous hands, the indigenous voices, our target is to continue to promote these indigenous sign languages, not excluding the spoken languages, and to give them a space in the new media and in our digital world to thrive. So I'm glad we are talking about Adamorobe the village and Adamorobe sign language today, and I'm so grateful to Mary and for the vast knowledge that she has on the Adamorobe deaf community. So we are going to continue this the volunteer of this today's topic in the next week. We are still going to be talking about deaf education in Adamorobe village, and so I thank you for coming around to watch us and listen to today's discussion. I encourage you to keep on doing that, please, if you think that what we're doing here is important and is great. And also share this video to people that you think that it will benefit. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done that, and so that you are going to be able to get our videos every week. Until then, I want you to stay COVID-19 free. Stay away from COVID-19. Don't get sick, okay? See you next week. Bye-bye.